Chapter 18 of Devotional Hours with the Bible, Volume 1, by J.R. Miller. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Mary Ann. Chapter 18. Joseph and His Dreams. Read Genesis chapter 37, verses 12 to 36. We see a boy of 17 journeying alone across the country. He did not know what the end of his journey would be. He was only going on an errand, as he supposed. His brothers were pasturing their flocks 60 miles away. The old father wished to know how his sons fared, so he sent Joseph to carry messages and a basket of good things to them, and to bring back word again. Joseph set out in good spirits. Boys are usually fond of adventure, and enjoy such expeditions as that on which Joseph was sent. The family would see him off, expecting him to fare well and return again in good time. Not one of them dreamed that it would be more than 20 years before they would see his face again. We never know when we say good-bye at our door to the friends we love, whether or not we shall ever meet them again. If Jacob and Joseph had foreseen the fact that for such a long time they could not look into each other's face, it would have been a most tender parting. We should always say good-bye, even for the briefest separation from our dear ones, with thoughtfulness, for we may never clasp hands with them any more. We should never separate in an angry or impatient mood, with unforgiveness, bitterness, or misunderstanding. We should not say our goodbyes coldly, indifferently, but always with love and gentleness. Suppose that the one who goes out should be brought home dead, or should return to find the one dead whom he left at the door. If the parting were with harsh word, or look, or thought, how must the surviving one grieve, when sitting by the flower-covered coffin, to remember the last word or look. Flowers then will not atone for the coldness of the parting on the doorstep, nor will they take the pang out of the bereft heart. We should make every parting with home-loved ones, every briefest good-bye, sweet enough, kindly enough, for a last farewell, should it prove to be the last, as it may be. If thou dost bid thy friend farewell, but for one night, though that farewell may be, press thou his hand in thine. How canst thou tell how far from thee fate or caprice may lead his steps, ere that tomorrow comes? Men have been known lightly to turn the corner of a street, and days have grown to months, and months to lagging years, ere they have looked into loving eyes again. Parting at best is underlaid with tears and pain. Therefore, lest sudden death should come between, or time, or distance, clasp with pressure firm the hand of him who goeth forth. Unseen, fate goeth too. We never know when we set out any morning what calamity may befall us before the night comes. Joseph had no thought of danger or trouble when he left home to go to Shechem. At least he was near the end of his journey. He expected a kindly reception from his brothers, and was utterly unaware of the fate to which he was moving. So we all go on, unconscious of what lies before us. We spend today in gladness, not knowing that tomorrow will bring us tears. We move on through the flowers, heedless of danger, not knowing that at our next step we shall fall into some pit. We sometimes wish that we could see into the future, that we might choose our way more carefully. Yet the experience of Joseph teaches us that it is better we should not know what is before us. Had he perceived what awaited him, he would not have gone forward, but had he returned home, while he would have avoided long years of suffering and trial, he would also have missed the bright future which lay before him in God's providence beyond the darkness. It would not be well for us to know what is before us. If we knew the hard things, the disappointments, the struggles in the way, we might refuse to go forward, but then we would miss the good, the blessing, the final victories and rewards of life. It is better to let God lead us and to walk in the dark with Him than to go alone in the light, unled. Jacob had made a special coat for Joseph, a sort of princely garment, which was a mark of the favor he showed him. That coat was an irritating thing to his brothers. It had very much to do with the kindling of their hatred of him. It was the mark of their father's preference for him. So, when they saw a lad coming toward them some distance away, they immediately recognized him by his coat, and all their slumbering hatred awoke. They determined to kill this dreamer. Joseph's dreams and his coat seem to have been the chief exciting causes of the envy of these older brothers. They hated him because their father loved him. Then they hated him still more because of his dreams, which appeared to foreshadow his superiority over them. So when they saw him coming, they at once resolved to put him out of the way and get rid of him by killing him. These brothers went the way of Cain. Their envy of Joseph grew into murder, for although they did not actually kill him, they intended to do it, and God counts intentions as acts. Envy leads to all manner of wickedness. When we think of it, we can see what a base thing it is. It is caused, not by evil in others, but by good, not by harm done to us, but ofttimes by kindness. In its very nature it is murderous, and ofttimes it leads to actual murder. We should guard against the beginning of envy in our hearts as we guard against the beginning of fire in our houses. A mere spark left slumbering may soon become a ruinous conflagration. Life is too short for hate. We mingle here but one brief day, too brief for what we meant to say when it was all too late. Life is too short for hate. The tree is green that soon shall wave its leafy plumes above the grave in that relentless state. They decided not to kill Joseph. Instead of a tragedy came a providence. Reuben had a tender spot in his heart. He proposed that they cast the boy into one of the pits that abounded in the region. He intended to rescue him afterward. The brothers agreed to this suggestion. They would not have the boy's blood on their hands, and he would be out of the way as effectually as if they should kill him. Yet this was really only another and more cruel way of killing him. Reuben meant to deliver him, but the others did not know this. They meant to let him starve to death in the pit. But here we see the hand of God at work. Joseph was not to die. He had a great mission to fulfill in the next 20 years, and no plot of men against his life could succeed. Every man is immortal till his work is done. God took care of Joseph's life. Having decided what to do with Joseph, they sat down to eat bread. Here we see the heartless cruelty of these brothers. Not far from them, in a dark, cold pit, was Joseph. Perhaps his cries came to their ears while they ate their food. Yet in their heartlessness they went to their meal and eagerly devoured it, unmoved by the sufferings of their brother close by. It is strange how envy freezes all the love out of the heart. There's a great deal of such heartlessness all about us. The world is full of want, suffering, and need. Yet how often do we who are more favored eat our meals with relish, unmoved by the cries of hunger that come in at our windows? Then is it not the same with regard to men's souls? We have Christ and all the joy of his love and grace in our hearts. We sit down to our communion tables and feast richly on the heavenly provisions set before us. But do the cries of lost ones never break on our ears while we sit there? In dark pits into which they have fallen are many perishing ones with none to deliver them. Is there no pity in our hearts? If we found a dog or a horse fallen into a pit, we would try to lift it out, but we see our brothers perishing in sin's dark pits, and we pass by unmoved. Shall we not pray for compassion like our Master's, that will make us rescuers and helpers of all who are in need or distress? God wanted this boy in Egypt, and, by chance, as men would say, a caravan now came in sight, on its way to the land of the Nile. This started a new thought in Judah's mind. He proposed that they sell Joseph to this caravan. He told them that killing him would not be of any profit for them, while selling him would bring them a little money. Was it conscience, or was it greed of gain? There are in Judah's words hints of a troubled conscience, although the money seems to weigh the more in his suggestion. Sin is always a troublesome thing to get off our hands. Then the thought that Joseph was their brother made the matter worse. Why not avoid the bloodstains, and at the same time make a little out of Joseph? There would be profit all around in such a transaction. Then they would get Joseph out of the way just as effectually as if they had killed him. For if they sold him, he would be carried down to Egypt as a slave, and that would be the end of him. They would never hear anything more about his superior goodness. His hated coat would never flaunt itself in their eyes again. His dreams would never trouble them any more. The love of money is a root of all evil. For money these men sold their brother. For money Judas sold Jesus. What crimes have men not committed along the ages for money? The brothers, knowing that some news must be sent to their old father, killed a kid, and dipping Joseph's coat in the blood, sent it home, innocently explaining, "We found this garment in this condition in the field. Does our father think it is his son's coat?" The old man recognized it, and drew the inference the cruel men wished him to draw. Joseph is without doubt torn to pieces. So, for more than 20 years he thought, and all the years were filled with sore grieving. Sin follows sin. It is always so. Indeed, it cannot be otherwise, for our lives are links of a chain, and if we take up one link, other links are drawn up with it. As we see Jacob so cruelly deceived by his own sons, we cannot but recall how Jacob himself in his earlier days had wronged his brother and deceived his father. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Sins are like chickens that are sure to come home to roost. With what measure ye mete, it shall be measured to you again. We must take care how we treat others, for by and by someone will treat us in the same way. Here we see the wisdom of the golden rule. All things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. Jacob in his weeping saw only one side of the events over which he wept. Later on he saw that the cloud which was dark on the one side, on the other side was all glorious with the divine love and goodness. So it is in every Christian life. No chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. The things we struggle against and weep over, which cause us such pain and grief, are parts of God's love and mercy for us. End of chapter 18.